Introduction into Color Theory. You can do it on a worksheet or a blank page in your sketchbook. You'll need something circular to trace in order to make a color wheel. I'm going to do 3 circles because one is going to be a color wheel and one will be for my primary colors and secondary colors. Next, you'll divide one of the circles into 6 equal parts. Next, you're going to grab the 3 primary colors from your crayon or color pencil box. The primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. You are going to color 3 of the sections in the color wheel, but you must skip a space in between each of the primary colors. The primary colors are the only colors that cannot be mixed. You use these 3 colors to make all the other colors. So let's start. We're going to take 2 primary colors, in this case red and yellow, and we're going to mix them together in that space in between, and we will get orange. Continue to fill the spaces in between each of the primary colors. When coloring with crayons or color pencils, try and use a nice even pressure so that you don't use too much of one color over the other. Yellow tends to be less dominant than the other 2 primary colors, so you can press a little harder on the yellow and have a little less pressure on the other 2 colors, red and blue. Yellow and blue make green, and lastly, blue and red will make purple. Again, the 3 secondary colors are orange, green, and purple, and they are made from 2 primary colors. Next, for my advanced students, you can try and make tertiary colors. Tertiary colors are when you mix a primary and a secondary color together. In this case, in the first example, I made a red-orange. So first, I make orange, which is red and yellow, and then I add a little extra red. This color goes in between the 2 colors that mix it, so we have always a primary and a secondary. So we started with red orange, then yellow orange, yellow green, blue purple, also known as indigo, and then lastly a red violet. As a review now, what are the primary colors? Color in the circle below. Do you remember how to mix the secondary colors? Go ahead and mix them below. Next, we'll go over warm and cool colors, complementary colors, and what monochromatic means. Above, you have one more opportunity to mix the 2 primary colors. I know it's redundant and repeating the same thing over and over, but it's just giving extra reinforcement for your brain to remember in different ways. Warm colors, I want you to try and think of like fire and hot. So those would be your reds, your oranges, and yellow. Cool colors have a base of blue. So there's blue, purple, and green. Think of ice, wet, grass as the cool colors. Complementary colors are pairings, and they are opposite each other on the color wheel. They bring out the best of each other. One is always a cool color and one is always a warm color. One is always a primary color and one is always a secondary color. They are the complete opposite of each other. In painting, you can use them to dull each other out. So if a red is too bright, for instance, you could put a little green in it to dull it down. And if you put them next to each other, they vibrate. So they really, like I said, they bring the best out of each other. Purple and yellow are the most extreme of the pairs because purple is so dark and yellow is so light. And the mixing above, I think it's pretty obvious. I'll just let you do that on your own and figure that out. You literally just have to put the two colors it's telling you to mix and see what happens. So if you had messed up any other time on the worksheet or on this color theory practice in your sketchbook, here's a time to redeem yourself. Lastly, we're going to do a monochromatic scale. You pick any color, and then in the beginning, you're going to want to hold your crayon toward the very end of it and lightly brush it over for that first square. If you have a white crayon, you can also mix that in there to make a lighter version of this hue you've chosen, and that would be a tint. In the next square, I'm applying a little bit more pressure. You can see I've moved my hand closer to the head of the crayon or the tip, and on that third square, I'm pressing really hard. I'm going to do a couple layers of blue to make it a darker shade than the one before it. On the last square, I'm also going to go really, really dark, press really hard, do a few layers, but now they're looking the same, those two squares. So on this last square, I'm going to add a bit of black to create a shade. I'm not going to press too hard because black is a strong color and will over dominate and turn everything basically black. So I'm going in with the black, but I'm not pressing too hard. I'm just doing a light layer, fading it in. And there you have it.